Hello folks, I'm back with another video. I'm Headley, another fat bearded man talking about records, and I've got some records to talk about. These have been kicking around for a while. I've been meaning to do a sort of a finds video for a while. These are some various things I picked up, charity shops, online, but first of all I'm going to start with some records that John Downing, the 6-inch pianist 319, the 319th of the proud 6-inch pianist clan, he's decided he's going to try and give all his records to me, I think. Anyway, so I hooked up with him, had a nice meal, a bit of a chit chat, and I think he sent me some as well. But first of all, we've got Porter Wagoner, the Farmer. This is from 1973 on RCA. Porter Wagoner he's an interesting guy, very straight ahead country, some of it. Now I think John had a listen to this. He found it a little bit mawkish, and I agree that the first side is rather bit what's the word, sentimental, but where it happens is on the second side, which I think John hadn't actually listened to. So John, I'm sorry, but there's some funky guitars going on in the second side. You know, it's 1973. Not even Porter Wagoner is avoiding that. So I'll perhaps play you a track. The sun don't shine on the same dog every day. So I perhaps should play you a little bit of that.
Look at the sunshine through them black clouds. Listen to the thunder moving away. Even the lightning has stopped its flashing. You know the sun don't shine on the same dog every day. And I'm due a little sunshine. It's been a long, long time. And the sun don't shine on the same dog every day. I've had my share of rain, loneliness and pain, but the sun don't shine on the same dog every day. Well, I've been like a hermit, living on the inside. I'm moving to the sunshine. I started living on the outside. I believe I'm right when I say that the sun don't shine on the same dog every day. And I'm due a little sunshine. It's been a long, long time, and the sun don't shine on the same dog every day. I've had my share of rain, loneliness and pain, but the sun don't shine on the same dog every day.
Okay, the second one he gave me was Bobby Bear, Hard Times Hungry. This is another kind of concept album that he did with Shel Silverstein, probably famous for doing A Boy Named Sue for Johnny Cash. And this was released in 1975 during the economic downturn in the US, well, all around the world, of course. And it's songs about down and outs. It's about poverty, which is probably why I didn't do that well. I mean, obviously during times of trouble and poverty, you want escapism, not really to be shown pictures of people picking from bins. But much like any Bobby Bear album, especially ones by Shel Silverstein, it's got some really nice stuff on it. Like I said, it's a very political album, full of songs about poverty, about so we've got Hard Time Hungry, Daddy's Been Around the House Too Long, Able-Bodied Man. So yeah, kind of very political album as well. This is one he sent me, John. Nice one, John. Thank you. This is Jerry Holland. This is on Rounder Records from 1976. He is a Canadian-American, family from Canada, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, but he moved to Boston, I think, or Massachusetts anyway. Brockton, Massachusetts. He's a fiddler, sort of Scottish fiddler, really. So, of course, the Scottish roots. It's basically just Scottish folk tunes played on the fiddle by Jerry Holland, accompanied by piano, and it's a nice record. Yeah, thanks, John. Really nice folky folky Scottish tunes. And then the last one he gave me here, I've got is this is Country Blues Classics Volume 4. This was released in 1967. And it's got a number of sort of very, not particularly well-known blues artists. Leroy Dallas, Joe Williams, Peter Warfield, Dennis McMillan, Lost John Hunter.
I am motherless and fatherless too. Nobody knows things I go through. I am down now, but I won't be down always. I never been to school, don't know my ABC. I guess that's why things are so tough with me. I'm down now, but I won't be down always. I lost my job, haven't got it done. Can't get a fever, I'm not a friend of mine. I'm down now.
Probably all from the late 40s, these recordings. And it's interesting, I can't quite tell whether the record, you might be able to tell me, John, if the record's scratched or it's the original sourced material that's a bit scratchy, because that's what you get with these sort of archive recordings. So yeah, does what it says on the tin, country blues. Very nice sort of stuff. Okay, so thank you, John. You're a star, always good to have those, although you can keep your Banjo Barons records, okay? I know you like them, so you wouldn't want to part with them. Okay, so back onto some of the stuff that I've picked up. First of all, we've got Neil Young. This is Hawks and Doves. This was his 10th album, I think, from 1980. And it's a bit of a cobbled together album, this. It's got a number of tunes that were recorded in the mid-70s that were due to be on an album called what's it called, Homegrown, which I understand is actually getting a release next year as part of Neil Young's archive kind of project. And the second half was all recorded in 1980, and it's probably one of his most country albums by this point. So yeah, this is an album that wasn't very familiar with me, because when I was getting into listening to Neil Young, it wasn't available on CD, because that's what I was listening to mainly. So yeah, probably not up there with some of his best, but still, it's got some great tunes on it. Little Wing, that was due to be on the Homegrown album. So I'll be interested to hear what the Homegrown album sounds like when it comes out next year. Okay. This is a rather sad record. This is Purple Mountains. And this is a project by David Berman, who founded the Silver Jews, who were a favourite band of mine. Anyway, they went on hiatus for quite a while. And then early in this year, I heard that he was going to be coming back with this album, with a new sort of name, Purple Mountains. And this came out in, I think, August. Let me check my notes. No, it was released in July. And sadly, David Berman committed suicide the next month in August. So apparently his father was a lobbyist for tobacco and alcohol firms. And David Berman was never able to quite get his head around it, which kind of screwed him up, really. And yeah, it's a great album. If you like the Silver Jews, it's sort of indie, country-ish, pop, rock. Yeah, so a kind of a bittersweet album. And actually, you can hear some of the issues he's dealing with if you listen to this album. And actually, there's a video I want to do about troubled artists that we listen to, and I've had quite a few favourite artists commit suicide. So yeah, cheery stuff. So you'll look forward to that one. Anyway, so yeah, sort of the last release from David Berman, Purple Mountains, worth checking out.
Well, I don't like talking to myself, but someone's gotta say it. Hell, I mean, things have not been going well. It's time I think I finally fucked myself. You see, the life I live is sickening. I spent a decade playing chicken with oblivion. Day to day I'm neck and neck with giving in. I'm the same old wreck I've always been. And when I see her in the park, it barely merits a remark. How we stand the standard distance, strangers stand apart. Of course I've been humbled by the void, much as my faith has been destroyed. I've been forced to watch my foes enjoy ceaseless feasts of Schadenfreude as the pace of life keeps quickening beneath the bitching and the bickering. When I try to drown the thoughts in gin, I find my worst ideas know how.
Okay, bit of soul. This is Dinah and Marvin. Diana Ross, Marvin Gaye, of course. This was released in 1973, and apparently it was quite a troubled recording. I don't think they particularly got on. They were both very popular and very successful, and I think there were issues with egos at work. I understand that she was pregnant at the time as well. Turned up to the recording studio to find Marvin Gaye smoking a great big joint, and basically refused to go in to record until he put it out. It's famous. I suppose it's got You Are Everything. What's the other track on here that Pledging My Love. They both certainly got a couple of stylistic songs on here, and that's the kind of sound it's going for, that mid-70s kind of very stylistic sound. But yeah, nice to have hold of that. Okay. This is Law. This is a self-titled album from 1975. They were an Ohio group, funk rock, bit southern rock maybe as well. They had some mediocre success. They toured with The Who after Roger Daltrey heard them, and unfortunately, as you can see, they're a multicultural band, which probably in the mid-70s made them quite difficult to market, and eventually they would split up. But it's a nice, funky rock with some great horns, so worth checking out.
Anyone out there listening, we just say this to you. Better wake on up!
We were driving along. We brought a
similar. Well, this is sort of country rock, blues rock. This is Red Eye. Close the eye. Red Eye. So this is from 1970. Yeah, kind of what you would expect from a 1970 blues rock, country rock band. Some great tunes. Yeah, Red Eye. Check them out.
To nowhere, burning inside, it's a great place to hide themselves away. And you know, yeah, you know, yeah, you know, yeah, you know what they're doing. Can't they see? The dreams in the mind are the only things that bind them together, serving a purpose till they turn it away for better. And you know, yeah, you know.
This is Townes Van Sant. Obviously, I bought this one, I think, from Amazon. It was pretty cheap. This is the Nashville Sessions, which is a collection of unreleased recordings that were made in 1974. That would have been his 7th album. I knew there was a 7 in there. But due to some business issues, they were shelved and weren't released until 93, I believe. But this is a repackaging. This was released a couple of years ago. 2005, is it? Let's have a look. Yeah. 2005, and it's got songs that would go on to be on some of his other albums, like Rex's Blues, No Place to Fall, Snake Song, Two Girls. Yeah, but it's nice to hear different versions of them. So Townes Van Sant, lovely. Some old time stuff here. We've got Old Time Get Together by Lou Childra. I love that cover. I love these Starday records. I do like them. And yeah, so this is old school sort of, not really bluegrass, but sort of, yeah, Appalachian sort of hillbilly music. Although he's from Alabama. And it's recorded, it's a nice recording because it's kind of recorded in the studio. Well, of course it's recorded in the studio, but it's recorded live it purports to be live in the studio. And it's got a nice, they kind of chat in between songs, he makes jokes, things like that. It's kind of like almost like an MTV Unplugged session. And it's also got Cowboy Copus, you can't really see that, it says it there. Yeah, nice record. I do like Starday records. Here's A label. There you are, I've shown A label. How about that? Okay, so Old Time Get Together. Lou Childra. Okay, now I happened upon an album, a compilation of British pub rock, and one of the tracks on it was by a group called Chaz and Dave. Now, Chaz and Dave are a bit of a novelty act. Well, at least they became a bit of a novelty act in the late 70s, early 80s, having hits like Snooker Loopy, and doing The Spurs Are On Their Way to Wembley. Wembley! Tottenham's gonna do it again. I can't stop 'em, the boys from Tottenham, the boys from White Hart Lane. Whee! There you go, Spurs fan. That's probably lost me half of my, through the singing and being a Spurs fan, that's probably lost me most of my subscribers. Anyway, I really like the track that was on the compilation. So I did a bit of looking around and found that actually their early albums, or the first album, is pretty damn good. And so their first album was actually called, hang on, let me see, have I written it down? One Thing and Another. One Thing and Another. And it was released in 1975. And basically this is a compilation of that album on the first disc. It's two disc set, as you can see. And the second half is their third album, which is called Don't Give a Monkey. And strangely, it not got their second album, which was called Rockney, as in rock Cockney. And so yeah, they do a kind of a Cockney London shtick. And actually, it's interesting because if you listen to their first album, there's an element of sort of the kind of thing that Ian Dury would do. And actually, they predate Ian Dury. Of course, Ian Dury at that point was in another pub rock group called Kilburn and the High Roads. Anyway, so if you like Ian Dury, they're worth checking out their first album. There's some really nice tunes on it, and there's a great one called Old Dog and Me, and I'm going to do a needle drop of that later. So, Chaz and Dave.
I sit here for hours, watching the flowers. Don't want for nothing, got me answer back and a nice cup of tea. I say I'm doing alright, yeah. Just the old dog and me. Some people look at me, say I need an holiday. That you need a break. Give yourself a rest. Give yourself a rest. Be good for your chest. Why don't you fly away? Take yourself an holiday. I be for in the sun. Ain't my idea of a change. Up in one of them planes. I'm happy just sitting here dreaming, liking the feeling.
Okay, just a couple more to go. This is the Lewis Family. This is 16 Greatest Hits. This is on Star Day. They were the first family of gospel bluegrass, or bluegrass gospel. They started in the 50s. Do I mean the 50s? Yeah, 1951 I think they first started performing, and they were going right up until into the 2000s. Obviously with different members and things like that. And yeah, bluegrass gospel, that's what it says. We've got on here, Will the Circle Be Unbroken, The Old Rugged Cross, Go Tell It on the Mountain. Yeah, if you like a bit of country gospel, bluegrass, they're the band for you. Did I write anything else down? No. So there you go, the Lewis Family. And finally, this is the legendary J.E. Maynor. This is volume 4. Apparently there's about 15, 16, 17 volumes of this. This was on Rural Rhythm Records. Rural Rhythm sounds like a contraceptive method. Anyway, this is, it's again, it's kind of, he was a fiddler. This is him here. This guy here, there's somebody called Larry Cheeks, and Larry Cheeks has got the biggest head I've ever seen. He's playing the washboard there, but look at the size of that head, massive. Right, anyway, so if I've done mocking somebody's huge head, I'll move on. So yeah, fiddle music, old-timey country stuff, really nice. There you go. So look at all the... It's one of these weird records that on the back doesn't have the track listing. It's just entirely used for advertising all the other records. Who have we got on here? We've got Hilo Brown, Red Smiley, Mac Wiseman. So similar kind of artists. But yeah, so that's the legendary J.E. Maynor, who of course you've never heard of. and nor would I until I picked this up. So there you go. I will be back at some point, I'm sure, with another video. So until then, bye-bye for now.
Jimmy and Johnny was playing around the hill. Jimmy fell down in the hole in the field. I'm playing. Jimmy looked around and looked all about. He got scared.